I grew up in a house on the east side of Whale Island with my sister Delona and my grandma Para. The woman we called Grandma possessed an appeal that inexplicably attracted people to her when they met her. Her nurturing nature always soothed me, so it was no wonder that people seemed to flock to her the way they did, and she never turned anyone away. Our front door opened up to a spacious living room that was bright with light that shined in from the picture windows. Oftentimes, people would sit in our living room, barely speaking to one another as they waited to see Grandma Para. The broad living room forked into two long hallways. The one to the right led to the bathroom and then veered off to the left before ending inside the large kitchen and dining area. The hallway to the left led to our bedrooms, then curved to the right, ending at Grandma's parlor door. Oftentimes, she had regular visitors who frequently came to buy candles or talk with her in the back parlor of our house. I often delighted in observing her guests from some hidden vantage point before they could reach the sanctity of the parlor. More often than not, I got the impression that they were hiding or running from something or someone. Some looked as if they had come from far beyond the island, and it was their strange accents or their improper attire for the island that always gave them away. Every morning, Delona and I were forced out of bed to make candles with Grandma Para for her customers and the local candle shop. This profession was one of the things I excelled at immediately and learned to love as much as she did. But of course, the candles I made were strictly decorative. Only Grandma Para and Delona made the candles she gave to her regular customers. The ones I made were sold to the shop. Whenever Delona and I weren't stuck in school or doing chores, we could be found on the beach mingling with the other kids our age. When Grandma Para felt that I was old enough to understand, she told me about my parents by simply saying that they drowned in a boat accident when I was a baby, and that she adopted Delona and me shortly after. Delona explained to me that they were all descendants of Una, and that our parents were once priests of the Una temple on the other side of the island as she was. She told me that I looked like my mother and that Delona looked more like our dad. She even told me a few funny stories about their lives as children when they lived at the temple. She told me that my father's name was Rory Namash and my mother's name was Yalia. What she never explained was why Delona and I led our lives away from the temple, unlike the other descendants of Una, and I never asked. The day would come when I would discover that power to Luma Labadi was one of the most powerful seers on our island, and that she, too, was taken from her original family as a child to be raised in the Una temple. She rose in status until she herself became an elder priest, and it was during that time that she received Serpent to train and to raise as her own daughter. I was only 10 years old when I stumbled upon her craft, which ignited a passion inside of me that surpassed curiosity and became my obsession. The day started out no different than any other day. Grandma Para was going only a short distance into town to shop after preparing our meal of vegetable and herb soup, fried fish, and homemade sweetbread that was still in the oven. The enticing aroma drifted throughout the house, claiming its territory and only finding defeat at open windows and at the screen of the open front door.